shall we? Now, when I'd finished on Monday, after my disastrous live on Monday, Natalia texted me and asked me if I would do a demo of the card that she did a little speedy video for, because I think somebody had asked for a slower version. I know Lexi's already made her version of Natalia's card, and a beautiful card it was too. But I said I would do a demo using sort of similar to what Natalia used, just to show people how it comes together, really, because I'm well aware that whilst we've got nearly 14,000 members in the group, a lot of those people are new to Lisa Horton. A lot of them are new to card making. So it's always nice to just sometimes have another look at basic card shapes and, you know, different things to do with your cards, so that we sort of encourage new card makers as well as the people that have been here for the last 3 years. So the things that I'm going to be using today, now I haven't had time to check stock levels on all of these today, so it would just be a case of going to the website and seeing if they're still available. Now, the Cubes embossing folder was one of the very early embossing folders that Lisa bought out, and this is number 6, so you can tell how early on it was. It's just a super embossing folder, and if you've seen the Layering Cubes stencils, if you're very careful, you can actually line them up so that you can emboss them. So if you emboss it first, then you can use the stencils over the top and just stencil what you've already embossed. But you have to be really careful because it's not quite a match, but it's near enough. Right, so I'm also using the Corner Hydrangea stencils, embossing folder and die, because this is what Natalia used on her card. I'm also using the nested scalloped and plain circles, and then I'm using the sentiment from the multi-layer double tulip bloom stamp and die set, and I'm using this one. This is a hug in an envelope. I think that is such a beautiful sentiment, and it covers so many occasions. You know, it could be a just because, it could be a sympathy, it could be anything. I just think it's a perfect sentiment. So those are the things that I'm using today. So let's just put those out of the way. Now then, card base is a 6x6 card. I say 6x6, it's not quite a 6x6. The envelopes are actually 6x6. This is actually, if you work it in centimetres, it's 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres. So all I've done is score it down the middle and fold the front back on itself. It's the easiest Z-fold card you will ever make, all right? That's literally, that's your Z-fold, dead simple, all right? Now, I think Natalia used plain cardstock. I've chosen to use Lisa's satin card, but on Natalia's card, she just put the embossed piece right down on the back of the card and on the front panel. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to actually do a matte and layer. It's only a very, very tiny matte and layer, but for me, it just lifts that bit of embossing from the back and just makes it stand out a little bit. You don't have to do the matte and layer if you don't want to, but you know, it's personal choice at the end of the day. So I just want to be a bit careful how I put this down, because my matte and layer is very, very small, so I don't want to mess it up. I want that piece of black to be visible all the way around. And this, I think this embossed in the satin card just looks so beautiful. I think it's really effective. So again, I'm just going to add my glue, and most of this card is going to be sort of flat, because it's a 6x6 and it's already folded. If you put too much depth on with sort of 3D and your flowers and everything, then it's not really going to fit in your envelope properly, and you don't want to squash everything when you're sending this out to somebody. So I will be adding most of it flat. Might 3D the flowers on the front, but we'll see when we get there. Okay, so that's my background piece, and then I've done exactly the same for the front panel. So I've embossed my piece of card, which I think is 7x14 14, I think. And then I've just cut my piece of black card ever so slightly bigger. I haven't measured the black card, I've just sort of measured it slightly bigger. Not measured it, but put this on and cut the black card behind it. Right, so again, the smallest matten layer on here, but really just to make that piece of embossing stand out that little bit more. I could have gone slightly over there, but never mind. And then I'm just going to add that down to the front. And for me, that little bit of black just lifts it enough to make it look a little bit different. Okay, so there's the main basis of my card, right? And then I used the scalloped circles, scalloped and plain circles. This one's going on the inside, and this one's got my sentiment on. Now I've stamped this using Lisa's solid black Cloud 9 ink pad, which I think gives the best stamped image. I think it's a cracking ink pad. So that's going down there. So let's add that to that piece of card. Okay, so that's my sentiment, which is going here. And now all I want to do really is just line up that circle on the back piece so that when this fastens, you can't see it. You can only see it when the card's open. Okay, so I'm just going to pop my glue on the back of here. And you'll notice I'm only going round the edge. I don't go in the middle with my glue because sometimes I think it can leave a line on your die cut, and I think that just spoils your card. So 1, 2, 3, let's come in, measure it that way, and make sure it's roundabout in the middle, and then just secure it down. I mean, this glue is just amazing anyway. It's not going to go anywhere once that's down. So when I put this down, you can see I won't see that circle behind it, and I just think that's a nice touch. Just make sure that you can't see that circle behind this sentiment. So now all I need to do is just add my glue down here. Now I only want it on half of this circle, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line on the back so that I only put glue in the right place, because I don't want it over here, otherwise I'll stick my card shut, and I don't want that, do I? Okay, let's make sure I put it in the right place. And glue it to the line, and then I know it's in exactly the right place, and then I can just put a little bit of pressure on it just to adhere it down. Okay, I like that. It's perhaps not quite straight, but a blind man on a galloping horse, as my nan used to say, won't notice, because once you put your flowers on, they won't notice anyway. So then I've got my stenciled Corner Hydrangea. Now I've used the new colours on here because I knew Lisa was putting them on the website, and I wanted to be able to show you some of the new colours. I know some of you have already ordered them, but they're just such beautiful colours. So this pink here is the shocking pink. I wanted these little berries to just really stand out, and I've also used the shocking pink in the centre here, and I've put a little bit of shading in the centre of the hydrangeas and the rose as well. Okay, so this colour here, the base of this colour, is the Coral Beach. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous colour. You'll notice a lot of these are a lot softer than the first release, but they're going to work so beautifully with what you had first time round. This green here is this fabulous Margarita. This is going to be one of my most favourite colours. I just think it's gorgeous, gorgeous colour. But what I also did was I just brushed up into the middle with the painted eggshell, just to give it a little bit of definition. And then when I did the veins and the other set of leaves that come from around the flowers, I've used painted eggshell on there as well. And then the pink on these, the sort of the base colour, is the antique pink, which again I think is a really beautiful. It's actually not as soft as you think it's going to be. It's quite a lovely, exactly what it says on the box actually, antique pink. So these are going on my card here. Now I did say I might add this one 3D, but thinking about it, I think I'm I'm pushing it too much if I do this one 3D. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put it down flat, but again I only need glue up to this point here. So what do I do with my pencil? Again, I'm just going to draw myself a line on there so that I don't go over the edge with my glue and end up gluing it to the back of the card. And believe me, I've done that before. So just put my glue on here, and then I'm just going to put the other one on the back so that there's a matching one front and back, so that they sort of mirror each other and there's a little bit of symmetry. Bit of glue there. And just hold that down for a second, because it is sort of, because it's embossed, you want to make sure that the ink sort of sinks into that embossed part of your flower, and then it's not going to go anywhere. So that's my first part, and then the second part is going across the top here. And I just like the way that it sort of goes across the top of the circle. I just think it's nice to have the circle there, but also cover a little bit of it up. I know that sounds a little bit backward really, but it does make sense. I know what I mean, even if nobody else does. Okay, so this one's going here, and this is what I mean about symmetrical and a little bit of sort of mirror imaging, so you've got one to the other, and I just think it looks really super. So it's not a difficult card, it's a really easy card. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just add a few of these beautiful gems. So I'll reach my pickup tool out. So we're just going to add a few little of these beautiful what are they called? Glass domes on the front, just for a little bit of interest, and then just a couple on the back. Okay, so we're going to go quite big on the front because we can. Might have to put a bit more glue on actually, because I don't think I've put enough. But then I'm going to go smaller down there, and then two small ones down here, just to finish it off. I'm not going to go up here anywhere, but I just think that is a really super easy, quick but effective card. But before I go, I wanted to show you something, because I'd had a little bit more time this morning. I mean, I've been prepared properly today, haven't I? I haven't cut anything the wrong size. I've got everything I needed. There's nothing missing. Honestly, I scare myself sometimes. So what I thought I would do is, using the new interference inks, I thought I'll see what they look like on black glitter card. Well, what a shock I had, because when you use it on black glitter card, now I don't know whether you're going to be able to pick up the colours, so I'm going to try and just move it around as much as I can without losing it out of shot. There, okay. These colours are the new interference inks on black card, but what happens is they come out as though they're colours on white card. Now, we all know that when you use the interference inks on black card, it comes up with a different colour that's actually on the ink pad. On black glitter card, they come up with the colour that's actually the colour of the ink pad. And I think it's because of the amount of glitter that's in the card, because the glitter is on top of the card. So you've got like a 300 GSM black card to start with, and then the glitter is blasted onto the top. So because the glitter sits on top of the card, the ink is colouring the glitter rather than the black card. So what happens is you're getting the colours on here that you would get on white card. These just didn't turn out like I expected them to. I expected them to turn out like they do on black card, and they don't. So bear that in mind when you're going to use glitter card. So I thought, well, do they work on white glitter card, and do they come out with the right colours on white glitter card? Yes, they do. I can't remember what colours I've used. I was going to leave them out, but then I thought, well, I won't remember anyway. So on white glitter card, they do still come out as the colours that you will get on white card. So although that I've used different colours, that's why they look very different. But don't expect it to look like it does on ordinary black card when you use black glitter card, because it won't. All right. But the other thing that I found, because these inks stay wetter a little bit longer, I die cut these pieces and then I put them through the embossing folder. Okay. And then I thought, oh look, there's all ink on my embossing folder. So I used some of Lisa's white linen texture card, and I just put the piece of card into the embossing folder and put it through the die cutting machine, and you get this really beautiful. This one doesn't look very good because I've put it through the embossing folder twice, so I've messed it up a bit, but you get a really sort of old-fashioned antique-y look on this, especially because it's on linen card. And this is the white one, and I love this. I'm going to use this on a project because it's just I can't describe what it's like, but it's sort of it just gives you that oldie worldy feeling, like really old wallpaper. Do you know what I mean? It's just a really lovely effect. Now I die cut this after I'd embossed it, but there is still loads of embossing on here. I can put it through the embossing folder again and re-emboss it. Vintage, exactly, vintage, shabby chic, brilliant. Those were the words that I couldn't remember. And muted effects, definitely, all of those things. But doesn't it look different? Can you imagine this sort of thing on Christmas embossing folders? I just think they will look amazing, and they'll give you cards that sort of old-fashioned, expensive look. And it was a happy accident, but oh boy, what a happy accident. I'm really chuffed with those. I might re-emboss this just to see what it looks like. My card slipped on this one, and I thought, oh, I'll just pop it through again, but I've spoilt it now. I might try it again, see if I can rescue it, but it was the effect that I wanted to show you, really. It just looks so different and so beautiful. But I just wanted to show you those because this didn't do what I expected it to do. And when I saw these, I thought I got to share with you because I just think they're really different. So those are the instructions for the Z-fold card that Natalia did. Mine looks a little bit different because I've used totally different colours. But it's such an easy style of card to make. So I expect to see loads of Z cards in the group from now on. Okay, I shall love you and leave you. Have a fabulous weekend and take care of each other. Thanks for joining me. See you soon. Bye now.